Hello everybody, just before this video starts, I just wanted to record a special thank you message to all of you. You know, I announced this channel maybe 2 weeks ago, and the amount of just feedback and support that you've all been giving me has honestly just been astounding. I always appreciate all of the love and support that you guys throw my way, and I hope that you'll really enjoy this new series of videos where I just get to do two of my favorite things: be a big fat nerd and be a lovable bartender. I will just say one quick point. I learned so much when I was making this video. I did a lot of things incorrect in this video that I will do better in my next video. Things like, for some reason, when I was filming close-ups of drinks, I was using my Galaxy S9, so my camera was really trash, and I was filming it wrong. But they're all mistakes I had to make in order to improve myself. So all my next videos are going to be better. Thank you again for all of your love and support, and I hope you enjoy this video. One Piece. It's the name of the treasure at the Grand Line. It's also the theme of today's video, the very first video of my brand new channel, Bennett's Bar. I'm Joshua Bennett, this is Bennett's Bar, and you are in for a treat. So let's get straight into it. Roll the intro. For anyone that hasn't experienced the sheer joy and just absolute brilliance of storytelling that is One Piece, let me catch you up on it real quick. It is a story about a group of pirates that all gather together. They're your unlikely heroes that all have different causes, but they're all heading in the same direction. They're all heading for a legendary pirate's treasure called One Piece, located at the end of the Grand Line, and that's basically the whole point of the manga or the anime, whichever one that you choose to enjoy. At the moment, I'm only in the second saga. I'm up to Little Garden, I believe it's called. So my drinks are going to be themed off of up to that point. I've got a few really great cocktails that I am very interested to try out, and let's get straight into it. The first one is going to be one based off of Luffy, because he is the protagonist, he is our main character, and he is a sheer force of nature. And that's not the kind of person that I want to get on the wrong side of. Now, the drink based on Luffy, we're going to call it the Gum Gum Rocket, because that is one of his many attacks that he uses to beat the bosses. Now, when I was dreaming up this cocktail, or specifically this shot, I had to break it down into the two different parts. First of all, the Gum Gum part, and second of all, the rocket part. And I thought the Gum Gum part would be easy enough, because there is an old shot that I very much love to make. And when people come to my bar and they never know what they want to drink, and they want to start off with a shot, but they want to have something easy to drink, fruity, but still alcoholic at the same time, I always make them this shot first. Because it tastes like bubblegum, but it will still get you to where you're trying to get to. First things first, you want to get half a shot of banana liqueur. This also fits very thematically with the One Piece theme, because our main character is called Monkey D. Luffy, so I have a feeling a lot of his drinks will be revolving around banana liqueur. After the banana liqueur, you want to put in the same amount of blue curacao. But if you want to call it blue curaco, you can also call it that if you like. And finally, you want to put in half a shot of Bailey's. Now, if you were just making this drink at home for yourself, you wouldn't need to shake it, you wouldn't need to put ice on it, but I always like to put ice in it and shake it because I prefer this to be cold. But not only that, but this is only half of a Gum Gum Rocket. Specifically, it's the half that tastes like gum. So we crack that open, we get our strainer, and pour it on in. Alright, and that is the first half of our Gum Gum rocket. Now comes the rocket part. Now, for the rocket part, I went through a couple of different ideas. I was thinking about vermouth to make it really like bitter and gross. I was thinking about absinthe because that is like rocket fuel. But ultimately, I decided on this. Libroca bison grass. Now, this is a vodka that has got a piece of straw in it. And hopefully the camera and the light will let you see the piece of straw in it. But I thought that would be really fitting for the Straw Hat Pirates, to have a vodka, or at least a shot, based on a vodka that had a piece of straw in it. And being that it is straight vodka, it will add the desired effect of rocket. So let's top her up and give her a go. Alright, I'm not really sure what I was expecting, but I was kind of hoping that maybe I could have layered it on top. But in the future, I'll probably try and layer this on top of another shot and call it like the Straw Hat Pirate shot. Because it'll be like a straw vodka acting like a hat on top of another shot. Now, just thinking about it, I probably should have made the double shot at the end of the video. But, you know, that's not what Luffy would do. Luffy would take the double shot at the beginning. So, here's to Luffy. Whew. That's actually really delicious. It tastes like gum, it tastes like rocket fuel, it tastes like fruity, it tastes like everything you want in a good cocktail. It's more proofy than you would imagine, but that sweet grass inside the vodka really does go well with the sweetness of the Bailey's banana liqueur and the blue curacao. And the longer it sits in my mouth, the more I just get like this really nice, warm, embracing ethanol alcohol hug. It's just like coating my tongue, coating the back of my throat. It's like a thick, viscous mouthfeel, which sounds gross and like it's a bad thing, but considering how delicious it is, I am really on board with that. That was the Gum Gum rocket. I was expecting that to be a bit more peppery and a bit harder to take, but that was actually really delicious. Would recommend the Gum Gum rocket. Alright, I'm now feeling a lot calmer and a lot more just embraced. Because as I'm sure you can imagine, being my first episode, this was a little nerve-wracking. But now I feel great. So let's keep going. Let's talk about a character that I have a feeling a lot of people would have mixed feelings about. Let's talk about Usopp, and his drink that I'm calling the Brave High Seas Warrior Martini, or the Usopp Martini for short. Now, Usopp for me is a character that doesn't get as much love as I feel that he should. In my opinion, the whole Usopp being a coward thing is too overdone. I don't think that Usopp should be considered a coward because he is just a regular guy that's cruising around with these like godlike warriors. He's with Zoro, who's destined to be the world's greatest swordsman. He's with Luffy, that's a balloon man that can't die from anything, and it's just an absolute force of nature. He's like a nuclear bomb strapped to a puppy dog. And even Sanjay is like a super good kicker or something. So when you compare all these characters to Usopp, and he's just like a regular guy that can just be so easily run through, run over, and killed. It can be so easy to consider him like a coward because he doesn't stand and fight. But the thing is, he does stand and fight. He does offer what assistance he can to the people that are around him, even though he knows that if the attention was turned onto him, his only choice to stay alive would be to run. So personally, I think it's brave of Usopp to even put himself in that situation at all. And with all that said, that's why Usopp's Martini is called the Brave High Seas Warrior. And this one is going to be something similar to an espresso martini, but a little different. It's going to be a dark chocolate chili espresso martini. Because I wanted it something that only the brave would try, and I wanted it something that you would feel through your nose. Because I share Usopp's affliction of having a big old nose. So let's get started. First things first, I prepared my espresso in a teapot. Don't ask me why, I just like to start fights, I suppose. Alright, so first things first, let's get 1 shot of espresso into our mixing tin. Alright, and once I got my espresso in, give it a little taste. Bitter. Good stuff. Exactly what a high seas warrior would drink. Next, I've got chili syrup. Now, I made this chili syrup myself. It was pretty easy. I just boiled some chilies with water and then added sugar to make it a syrup. So it's actually a really spicy chili syrup. And it is going to go fantastically with this. So I'm going to do about ½ ounce of that. Alright, that looks good. Now last night when I tried this chili syrup, it was pretty damn spicy, so hopefully overnight the flavors didn't mature more and it becomes overly spicy. But either way, if it does, then that just fits the theme a little bit better, being a high seas brave warrior drink. Alright, and what martini would be complete without a shot of vodka? Get that in there. Next comes the chocolate component of our chili chocolate martini, and that is going to be with some chocolate liqueur. We're going to go for about ½ ounce of this one as well. Give it a smell test. It smells delicious. Let's get it right in. Alright, now at this point, if you want to be double brave, you can put in some vermouth if you like, or you can even put in some bitters if that's what you're after. But I'm kind of going for more of the classic espresso martini with a pretty hefty twist on it kind of feel. So I'm going to leave it like that. Just going to chuck some ice in, shake it. So we got a couple of cubes of ice. Chuck that in there. Give her a shake. And now that it's nice and chilled, crack her open. Go, she wants to open. Whenever you're ready. Strain it into our glass. And that is actually a beautiful martini. But I think that we can go one step further. We're going to take it one step further with some premium dark chocolate from Cadbury. You don't have to use Cadbury, but Cadbury, if you want to send me some chocolate as a thanks, I'll appreciate it. So to top it off, we're going to garnish it with a bit of dark chocolate. So let's get to it. Alright, and make sure to get chocolate all over your counter. Your missus will appreciate that. And let's give this a try. I love dark chocolate. Alright, the chocolate chili espresso Usopp martini, or the brave high seas warrior. Let's give her a red hot go. It smells mostly of chocolate and espresso, which is a pretty damn good combination, so here we go. Whew, that is pretty spicy. It is pretty good. There's a lot of chili in that, but it works so well because it's like chili with the dark chocolate on top that you get to chew on. I'm gonna go in for another. When you first sip it, the chili is warm and it grips your tongue and you feel as if it's the alcohol in the martini that's, gripping you and burning just a little bit. But it then just like evolves into more of a chili flavor and more of a chili burn, and you get that nice flavor from that dark chocolate. And the vodka is so well balanced. You'd expect in something like this the vodka would get lost, and the espresso just like shines through just with like a little bit of flavor through it, just adds a nice bitterness to it, because with that chocolate liqueur and the chocolate on top and the sugar that's in the chili syrup, it can be easily too sweet. It could be just a sweet, spicy drink, but that espresso just comes in underneath and just gives it such a nice base layer of flavor. Alright, we got 2 more drinks and then you are free to go on your way. But before you do, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment down below, tell me what you think of these cocktails, tell me any other fandoms, books, movies, TV shows, video games, anything else that you would like to see cocktails done, either from them or based on them. I'd really appreciate the ideas. And let's go straight into our next one. This is going to be called the Onigiri Old Fashioned, or the Zoro Old Fashioned. Now, it's not really hard to see why Zoro is a fan favorite of One Piece. The guy's really cool, he's really cool under pressure, he's a samurai that uses 3 swords with one in his mouth. His ultimate goal is to become the world's best swordsman. I mean, what's not to love about the guy? He even ate rice out of the dirt to make a little girl feel better. Now, if that's not a decent guy that should be a fan favorite, then I don't know what is. So, because Zoro has shown that he's, a pretty classy act, I think that it is only fitting that we give him a classy drink, such as an old fashioned. But obviously it needs a One Piece twist. Give that a good smell. I'm going with Basil Hayden bourbon because it is one that I like to drink. And what does it taste like? Let me give you its tasting notes. Spicy, lots of caramel, delicious. So, like most old fashions, we're gonna need 2 ounces of a good bourbon. Alright, 2 ounces of a good bourbon, and just like the chocolate, you want to spill it all over your counter. Your missus will really appreciate that. That is the nice beginning of a regular old fashioned. We get some bitters, get in a couple of splashes of bitters. Next comes some simple syrup. This is also a simple syrup that I made. Nice and easy, it's just 50% water, 50% sugar. Boil it on the stove for a little bit. You don't even have to boil it if you don't like the stove. I'm gonna put in probably less than a quarter of an ounce. It's really up to your discretion how sweet you want to make it. Personally, I don't like it very sweet at all, so I'm gonna put in less than a quarter of an ounce. Next comes another one of our One Piece editions. So, because this is a Zoro Old Fashioned and it is a One Piece video, I am going to add saline to this. Now in the future I'll have a nice little kind of like glass bottle with a lid on it that I can just splash it in, but because I'm broke and this channel's new, we're just gonna have to do it with our spoon. So just a couple of drops of saline into our Old Fashioned. Now saline is just a mix of water and salt, seawater, very fitting to One Piece if you ask me. Now to garnish this drink, we're going to do a couple of things. First of all, in a regular Old Fashioned, you would put in an ice cube. Personally, I don't like ice in my Old Fashions because I have a gigantic snoz and I like to smell my liquor, and I find ice cubes dampen the smell. Secondly, you would use an orange rind in here to like express the orange, swirl it around and make it have that essence of orange. But as we know, Sanjay protects Nami's orange groves with a dedicated passion that only a lover could manage. So instead, we're going to do something that Zoro would have on hand, limes to cure scurvy. So we're going to take one big rip of lime skin. Oop, that didn't go how I thought. Let's try that again. One nice long rip of lime skin. Express it into your drink. Swirl it around. Chuck her in. But being that Zoro is tenacious, I don't think that he would give up on Nami's orange groves without a fight. So I've got a dehydrated wheel of orange here. And I just dehydrated this myself in the oven. It was really easy to do, and they turned out like bitter orange, to tell you the truth. But, well, that one's not going in the drink. Luckily, I have a spare. So the idea behind the bitter orange is that Zoro, having fought Sanji, can't get a fresh orange, but he finds a wrinkly old one on the deck that's been dried in the sun. That's the idea behind this. Chuck it in our drink, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, and here we go, the onigiri, Zoro's demon slash technique. Let's see. Hang on, I'm gonna have to go in for seconds. That is actually delicious. Going into it, the first thing that hits you is the smell of that lime peel. And I love the smell of lime. That lime hits you at the very beginning and I don't know, it sets up your expectations for something delicious. And then it delivers. The saline in it really works to bring out the caramel flavor of the bourbon. The bitter orange also plays well with the characteristics of the bourbon. And for some reason, I'm not exactly sure why, the spicy ethanol flavor of the bourbon is really reduced, so you're just getting this delicious caramel, salted caramel, bitter orange flavor in it. If you're somebody that enjoys a good old fashioned, I would definitely recommend giving this one a go. Probably shouldn't scull 2 ounces of bourbon on camera. Alright, moving on. My final drink, let's talk about our last character, Nami. Nami is one of my favorite characters because she is such a great character. Especially with all the information that we found out about Arlong Park and leading up to Arlong Park, where she kind of betrays the crew but doesn't betray the crew. And there's just a whole lot of moral grayness with her character. And I think she is one of the best written characters because you really don't know what to expect from her. And I've recently come to the conclusion that Nami is the pimp of the pirate crew because she sends the others out on missions and keeps the money that they make. Nami is the pimp of the One Piece pirate crew. I am sure of it. So I thought with Nami we would obviously have to go with the route of oranges because obviously oranges have such an important role in her story. So this is Nami's Tiki Punch. Or I'm just going to call it Nami's Punch because it's more fitting of her character because she's always, giving people the back of her hand to keep them in line. So it's a nice play on words, Nami's Punch. Now, Nami's Punch is going to be a nice and simple one. Probably don't even need to shake it, but what's the fun of making cocktails if you don't shake it? First of all, we are going to put in 1 ounce of white rum. Get that bad boy in there. Next, we are going to put in half an ounce of Kraken spiced rum, or any spiced rum of your choice. I particularly chose Kraken because of the sea monsters that are in One Piece. Not a great way to choose your spirits, I know, but it's the one I went with. So after we got our white rum, we got our spiced rum, we're going to put in a shot of triple sec as well. Now, when I was younger, I always thought that triple sec was incredibly bitter. I always thought that triple sec was something akin to vermouth. But now that I tasted it and I'm an adult, I can tell you it tastes a lot like orange Skittles. So we're going to put a shot of that in for another developed orange flavor in this, because Nami is all about her oranges. And finally, as Nami is an intelligent woman and she is concerned with the ravages of scurvy, we're going to put in about 1 ounce of lime juice. Now, I don't have one of those, citrus crushers that a lot of bars have, so I'm just going to do it with my hand, like an animal. Alright, so our 1 ounce of lime juice goes in there. We shake this over ice. And now that it's nice and mixed up, nice and incorporated, crack her on open. Don't even bother straining it. Pour it in there with all that ice. Give it the old sniff test. It smells delicious. And we will top her up with orange juice. Personally, I like my orange juice with no pulp. I know some crazy people that like that orange juice with extra pulp. Please let me know what degree of pulp do you like your orange juice. But let's top her on up. Beautiful Nami's punch right there. And just to garnish it, let's get another one of these candied orange wheels. I'll get one of these candied orange wheels and a straw, and I might see if I can do some kind of magic here. Let's see. There we go. And the orange sits on top, the straw sits in, and let's give her a taste. Tastes exactly as you would imagine. Nice, delicious, tropical fruit punch. Lots of orange flavor. It's got kind of like a pineapple acidity flavor. I guess that's what happens when you ramp up the acidity of orange juice with alcohol. Really good, really sweet, really refreshing. It'd be perfect on the deck of a ship looking out over your orange groves. And that's it for my first One Piece video. I'll be doing more One Piece videos as I continue on through the sagas. I'm sure that I'll have lots of things to inspire me to create more drinks. If you have any ideas for me, please leave them down in the comments below. If you want to hear someone doing arc by arc reviews of One Piece, I also have a second channel where I do that called Writer's Block. If I remember, I will link it in the description below. Thanks for coming, thanks for sticking around so far, and I'll see you next time.